everybody, welcome to another episode of In the Zone. I'll be your host, Dorcas Owino, and today I'm joined by Josephine, who is an alumni of Zone01 Kisumu. We'll be talking about her journey, challenges and opportunities during her time here, and why more women should consider a career in tech. Welcome, Josephine.
Thank you very much. Hi everyone, I'm Josephine Opondo, currently a product manager for an AI edtech application. And yeah, let's talk about my journey.
Yes, Josephine.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Let's start from the top.
Okay.
Your journey here. Or not even your journey here. Before the zone, what did you study? What were you doing? How did you end up here?
I think mine is one of those crazy stories because my background is not even in tech. I actually studied, I have a bachelor's in German, first class honors, by the way.
Oh, clock it.
Yeah, clock it. Yeah, so I stumbled into tech. I think it was a happy accident. So one of my units was in statistics, and that led me to learn about Python and R and how they
Statistics
use.
in German?
Yeah, I had a sociology unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the social sciences.
Oh, yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I met a friend, was a bioinformatician at the time. So he's the one who helped me learn how to apply statistics. So, and that led me to learning Python and learning R. So that was my first introduction into tech. And I
And
actually
you're like,
liked it.
wow.
Yeah.
Were you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you were like,
I liked it so
nice.
much because even after uni, I continued with Python. And again, I had another tutor, a friend of my sister's. So I got really good in Python. And then came the opportunity again through my sister to join LakeHub. Yeah, she was just like, yo, there's some opportunity in Kisumu. Ebu, go check it out. And I did. And I joined the FemiDevs program, graduated, and that one majorly focused on front end. So JavaScript, again, another skill. So by the time I was done, I was counting 2 languages. I had Python and I had JS. So
and German.
And German. Yeah, so by the time I was done, then came the Zone01 program. Because even with the FemiDevs, it still felt like I was lacking something. Like, yes, I have this knowledge, but how to practice it was a challenge for me. Yeah.
But before you went to uni, or before you were introduced to R, did you ever consider that you were a tech girly? Did you even know about tech and programming? Were you curious?
Not to the level that I am right now. I could basically just be the one to take care of all the tech issues that people had in the house.
Yeah.
My camera is not working, I would fix it. My laptop is doing this and that, I would try and fix it. So I never thought of it as something I could do. It's just one of those things that you do so well, you are unconscious of it. You're not conscious of it, yeah.
And probably that's why when now you got to interact with it, you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
this is something. Do you remember the feeling of writing your R code, and like, could you describe that? Is that something you can describe?
It was my first hello world for sure.
Of course, we all start with the hello world. Hello world.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mix of confusion and awe, and I don't know, like I was so amazed at what tech could do, because for something that I had struggled to manually do for so long could be done in such a short time by tech that I didn't even know existed at that time. And I was wondering what possibilities are there if this is just a bit of what I've had a taste of. I kept wondering, like, what more could there be?
Oh wow, that's really good, because you don't often hear people saying, I mean, most people interact with it and they're like, oh, this is so hard. What is this? What are these numbers and dots and letters? But then for you, it really did spark your curiosity.
Yeah.
And so with the curiosity being there now and wanting to, I assume now you wanted to know more, or did you imagine that there are more opportunities out there, or did you just then go back to continuing with German and maybe wanting to be wanting a profession in German?
To be honest, I never wanted a profession in Germany, and especially because it got to a point where everyone was forcing me down the line of teaching, and that is not really my style. And again, at that same time, I was not considering tech. I did not think of it as something I could do or a space I could fit into. My curiosity was just limited to my laptop. Yeah. Like I could just go on, figure things out, find some random data set on Kaggle and try do things with it. It was just basically limited there. And then I think it helps when you have maybe people around you who are also in tech, and that way you can see what they're doing and again see what is out there. If you're not exposed to these kinds of things, there is no one with a tech background in our family, so it was just me. And I could not see past what I had just seen then. So I was limited to that and trying to figure that out. And by the time I think I finished uni, that's when I started understanding that computer science is actually a whole thing and, yeah, can be explored.
This, you know what this reminds me of the conversation that we are nowadays having about representation and why it matters. Because if you don't see somebody like you or somebody close to you doing it, then it's not, you can't even imagine it. Your mind cannot even imagine it because you can't see it.
True.
And you can only go as far as you can see or even can imagine. But if there's no one around you doing it, then you're very limited. Yeah. Yes, in how in what you can do. So for you, tech was not a career that you considered, but you also knew that you didn't want to be in what is it, a teacher, a German teacher, because that was almost the only path you could see at that point.
Yeah.
But then you joined FemiDevs. That's how I met you.
Yeah.
And I thought, I actually thought that you had done a bit of coding before when I met you, because you were very quick in learning, and also you're very curious. And you said it's your sister that introduced you sent you.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
So FemiDevs was a very interesting experience for me. It was the first time I got to be in a room full of devs, or rather yet to be devs, like-minded people. We could share challenges. When you're learning something new, having room to even just call someone and be like, this code is not working, could you help me troubleshoot? It's changing. It changes how you think, how you see things. Because if you're stuck by yourself, you'll just remain stuck. Yeah. But when you have someone you can ask help from, it makes it easier. So learning there was fun. I loved the tutors. And again, that is very different from what we got here.
We'll get it.
Yeah. So it was nice. Sam was a very good instructor. I loved the people that I worked with. The facility, the management on that side of LakeHub was really, really good. It made waking up every day fun, like you had something to look forward to. And it was even more interesting and fun for me because I knew if I was not solving a problem that I had, I was helping someone else solve their problem. And for me, I think one of the things I cherish very much is growth. And if I can offer it, I will. If I am offered, definitely I'm taking it. Yes. So it gave me a room to grow so much. And I don't think I would have gotten into tech as much as I have if I hadn't gone through FemiDevs. Yeah.
So after FemiDevs, what were you doing? Did you get into tech? Did you not? And
again, there was always still a gap for me in terms of everyone kept talking about projects and what to start and how to build them. I knew all that, but I just didn't have the sort of like a use case for a project. You don't know what you're building for, and that sort of like keeps you in limbo. You're just circling somewhere and you don't know where you're going. So I eventually ended up going back to work with my dad, who is in construction. So I have a bit of construction background again. The CV keeps growing.
It's called being a multifaceted woman.
Yeah.
German, construction, tech, amongst many other things.
Yeah. So I stayed in construction for a while, up until, again, we came across the Zone01 applications. And I don't know if that was from my dad or my sister again, but someone sent it to me.
Someone from your family?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Do you know why now your family members were sending you these links? Is it because now they were seeing you coding and interested in computing? Did you talk to them about it? Because the first one was your sister, definitely.
Yeah.
This was either your dad or your sister, again, sending it to you.
So for my sister, I would say she understands a bit of tech, mostly because of where she works. For my dad, he's still skeptical up until now. I tell him I work remotely, and he thinks I just sit behind my laptop and press my keyboard. He doesn't think it's an actual job.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot
Still
of
waiting
learning.
for the time when you'll get be in an office and
exactly. And you can imagine, even while I was here, it was a struggle for him. I think he accepted it because I could come physically to Zone01 and he wasn't seeing me. So he thought there must be something she's actually doing. Yeah. But now that I'm working remotely, it's a struggle. Yeah, because some days, you know, the way you can just balance your schedule. I could have all these things planned and I want to do it maybe for the first 2-3 hours of my day. To him, that's not work. I have to show up somewhere physically. Yeah.
Yeah, so then now you get the application, you check it out. It's definitely different from Femidev's application. Tell me what you're thinking. You get the application. Just take me through the journey, because usually hear very interesting and different stories from different people, how the application process was just different. I'd like to hear your experience.
It was very different.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about the games. That's not the kind of applications I've seen anywhere else. So the first game was relatively easy. So from the second one, and I remember I had to bring everyone to help me look at that laptop because I don't know what I was not seeing.
And everybody was looking at it.
Yeah, we're all wondering, what kind of application is that? Like, is this how you're applying into the program? And I'm telling them, yes, it's a software development opportunity, so I have to. So we tried. I remember my niece tried to help me because there was one around memory, and she was trying to help me figure it out. Because for me, I work best when I can identify patterns. So I was telling her, could you help me look at a pattern that you can identify in all this? Sadly, they're all random, so we never got to identify a pattern. And I think I only got past the second one. Yeah, I didn't even get to the third one. The time kept running out on me on the third.
And also, you're not warned that there's a timer.
Yeah.
You
a lot of shockers there.
Yeah.
No instructions, no nothing. You just get there and already there's something moving on your screen and you're wondering, okay, so what do I do next? You're seeing buttons with arrows. You don't know whether they should be clicked or not. It was a lot to take in at first. Yeah. But by the time you get to like maybe your second try at the games, you've already started getting acclimatized to what's going on. Yeah.
So you play the game. You get an email letting you know that you've made it. Then what happened?
Yeah, came the threat of the piscine.
Yeah.
So apparently, so many people have applied. And remember, for us, it was we were the first cohort.
You were the first cohort.
Yeah, I was in piscine 4. So many applications are coming in. You have to secure a slot for the piscine. And I remember at that time.
Were you the group that the piscine filled up in a minute?
Could be.
Because it was filling up in a minute, and we're trying to. There are times it was less than a minute.
Yeah, so I remember that day, I think I woke up and maybe even 2 days prior, I just had it in mind that the piscine registration is opening on this date. So I woke up that day even earlier than I usually do, and I was just waiting on my phone. I was like, I'm not going to use your Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi we had at the office. I was like, let me just buy data in case of anything. I don't want to be locked out. Yeah, so I waited, and it was a very crazy experience. Like, I didn't know how hungry people are for such opportunities. You know, sometimes you look at it and you think it's just a few people who are going to check it out. But then that was a real hunger from people who wanted something different for themselves. People trying to fit into a space, trying to secure a space for themselves. And yeah, we managed to get in.
You know, what it reminded me of, you know, when people apply try to get secure Beyonce tickets or just tickets to, because you keep refreshing and you're there. I've had crazy stories that there were people with 2 computers here and both 2 computers you're trying. If this doesn't work, then this
doesn't work. Yeah. And then you keep refreshing. And then, you know, I think they said, was it 9 or 8? I don't remember the time. So immediately it clocked 8 or 9. The browser, the site was still not on. So you keep refreshing it, and then it picks up like 3, 10, 20 seconds later, and there's already some registrations done. So you're wondering, like, where did the lag come from?
Yeah.
But then again, it's the many people who are hitting the same.
For context, for our viewers, this was when people were trying to get into the piscine. Piscine's our selection process that takes about 4 weeks. So in the first few cohorts, we had so many people trying to get in, and we only had slots for 100. So as we'd send emails telling guys that, oh, you have tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll have the site will be on, and you can apply to be part of the selection. This is after you've played the game, mind you. So yeah, we'd get so many people trying to get in and register for the piscine. So you make it?
Yeah. Difficulty level just kept getting
harder and harder.
Yeah.
And then now you're in the piscine. Tell me about the piscine. The stories I've heard about the piscine. Tell me about the piscine.
The piscine, I think if we didn't go mad during the piscine, we are never going to go crazy in any
Yeah,
tech.
if you didn't run mad.
If you didn't run mad, no. It's not happening anytime
soon. People ask me, what were your plans? Were you trying to kill us?
But
interestingly, people love the intensity of the piscine.
After when you're outside, when you're out of it, yeah. When
you come out of the piscine, you're like, oh my God, look at the sun.
I know.
The leaves are green. Who is this?
You go an entire month without touching grass.
Yes, and your family is like, oh, she's back from hibernation. Where have you been? So yeah, the piscine experience is crazy. Tell us about your experience in the piscine.
Yeah, you get into a room where you have people with different levels of skill sets. Yeah, you have the guy who maybe has had a computer for 3-4 years, has been coding, and they know their stuff. And then there's you who can't even operate Bash. You can't open the command prompt and run things. And that is where it begins. So it was an interesting journey. And also the model, like you don't have tutors, you don't have instructors.
Keep in mind the first time you had Sam, you had a tutor.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you don't have a tutor.
Which was very crazy. And then it's a totally new language. You know, if I'd started maybe with JavaScript or Python, I would have picked it up faster. So this is Go. I have never even heard of the language.
You're like, Go where?
I'm like you, they couldn't even tell us during the application the language we were going to do in the piscine. So again, all new stuff when you get there. And then again, I mentioned the different levels of skill sets. So you have to again find a tribe, because the model is peer-to-peer based learning. These are people you've never met. So again, starting to socialize. For people who are used to staying in the house, like the bulbs in their houses, you have to start socializing.
In the houses.
Yeah. And yeah, it was a mixed bag of different challenges here and there. And for example, for us, we had to identify like a group, and maybe out of comfort, just because we were sitting around the same area. Yeah. So we decided to help each other. So where someone got stuck, we could have, say, one person find out what the solution is, and we come try and brainstorm it, see why it's working the way it's working. And then, yeah, we ended up just growing like that. So we came from zero knowledge, because our team was actually like that. We had people who had very high skills, and then we had zero. I think for myself, I considered myself a zero because Go was completely new to me. Yeah, and then we picked it up from there. The challenge was the speed at which you were working, because again, it's as if the module does not wait for you. You're barely learning thing 1, thing 2 has already started. Before you get to thing 2, thing 3 is already on. Yeah, so it was a lot of pressure around speed, and again, that's why I kept saying adaptability, because even as a newbie, you have to learn how to be adaptable, because if you learn one thing, how do you transfer that to help you learn other 3 things? And that matters a lot. Yeah, and apart from that, again, the peer-to-peer based learning, it stretched us all differently, because we realized we had weaknesses in different areas, and then the complementary relationship in skills. What I don't know, someone else knows, and what I know, someone else doesn't know. Yeah, so we just formed a tribe like that, and yeah, that's how we pushed through. The hackathons were a very different experience for us. I don't think Well, I've been up for maybe 48 hours for different reasons.
Hang on, that's when now you got into the cohort, right?
This is in the piscine.
In
We
the
had a
piscine.
hackathon.
You had a hackathon in the
Yeah.
piscine.
There was a hackathon.
Yes.
And the first time again, I'm sleeping outside the house again for different reasons.
You're not having fun. You're not out here to...
You know, if you count the amount of, or rather, if you factor in the kind of stress we've had for the past couple of days, and then remember during the weekends, you don't even have weekends to yourself. Weekends, we have raids and group projects, and let's not even get to the part where you have group members who did not show up for that project. And you know for sure, whoever is going to conduct that raid will fail you on that project because one person was not there. It was like a thesis defense of sorts. You have to stand there and tell them why your code is working the way it is. And then if one person cannot even explain it,
You're like,
you're
failed.
done for, failed.
Yeah.
You just wait, you'll go see on your dashboard the fail.
Well, because you didn't work as a group.
Yeah, but then, I don't know, and then coming from uni, and then you know uni, that is how people work. If one person can't work, the rest,
You
whoever
just
can
do the job and, submit it.
Yeah.
You'll get your A anyway.
And then that was not the case here.
Now you have to hold each other accountable. You have to make sure that the other person is working. And that's actually when we say peer-to-peer and collective intelligence. That's what we mean. Collaborative learning, sorry. When we say collaborative learning, that's what we mean. But also, you see the thing that you've said that I really like is you have to be adaptable, but you're also learning different things. And you're in a constant state of learning. And what we say here is that we are not training people. We are bringing up or nurturing learners, because in tech, what you need to have, one of the things that you really need to have is the ability to learn, adapt and learn. Especially now in the age of AI, you have to be very good at learning. You learn one thing, the other something else comes up. What you thought you are very good at, suddenly AI can do it in microseconds. So you have to learn something else or learn how to do it with AI. And also, so what the other thing is that the continuous theme of no one is telling you what to do. I keep hearing that because when you were playing the game, no one told you how to play the game. Figure out how to play it. You come into the program, no one is telling you what to do. You've been given a computer and software, and you're like, oh. Collaborative learning, collective intelligence, it's peer-to-peer.
It's very daunting at first.
Yeah.
Especially when you come from a system where you're used to constantly being told what to do. And then you get to a place where no one is telling you what to do. And it doesn't matter. If you ask for help, they just tell you, you'll figure it out. Just go figure it out. Ask your friends.
Yeah, ask your friends.
You'll figure it out. It was
have you Googled? We even tell you, have you Google? Google that. Just check, research. And now you finish the 4 weeks, and it's 4 weeks. And we've not even touched the checkpoints because every Friday you have like a 4-hour test.
The tests, remember, this is a completely new language. You barely understand even the syntax and how it works. And the first week you have a checkpoint. You're just going to sit there at your question 1, and the way that the questions are set, you can't progress into the next one unless you finish the previous one. So you could be staring at your computer for like 1 hour, and it's majorly just to print a letter. Just print this letter on the console. You don't even know how the thing works. You stare at it for 1 hour, you give up, you're like, let me just get this 0. Maybe next week will be better. And immediately you leave the checkpoint. Remember, the weekend projects are about to open. So you're supposed to register for those, and then by Saturday morning, you get your group members assigned. And then you have Saturday, Sunday to work on it. Monday reads. Like there was no break.
There's no break.
There was no
By
break.
design.
It was tough.
Yeah. So you finish the 4 weeks, and then how soon after do you learn that? Do you get to know that you've made it or not?
I think for us it didn't take long, considering we were the last group for the piscine. I think piscine 1's waited a longer time than us. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah. I didn't know we'd make it. Remember I told you we formed a group where we studied, and it was different people. Malika, Anne, Adi, it was a very big group. And it got to a point where we actually now just got serious. We're like, at least this checkpoint, let's help each other.
We have
We
to
just
do
get
it.
even number two, just number two. And then that is what became our drive.
That's the thing. People in the scene were trying to get to number 2 or number 3. Like, keep in mind, this is out of 10. Is it out of 10 or out of 7? Out of 10.
I think, was it 10 or around 7, 8?
7, 8. But you just, like, can I just get a 2?
Yeah, because like, that will be proof to you that you're actually learning something. And you know, in the piscine, in the checkpoint, it's under pressure, under duress. You can't refer, you can't ask, you can't do anything.
You had a week to ask and learn. Now let's see if you're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very, I don't know, it was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that prepare you for the cohort?
Yeah, it did.
So now you're in the cohort?
Yeah, in a sense, I actually thought it would be the same kind of intensity.
And you know, you remember when you guys were complaining to me, asking for the same intensity?
Yeah.
Because you finished the piscine, you now in the cohort. Cohort is not intense, but it's
used to the pressure.
Yeah. You're like, you know, we thought we were expecting pressure.
Yeah.
Can you bring the pressure back just a bit? But when you guys were in the piscine, you're like, what is with the pressure? Yeah. So now you're in the piscine, you're in the cohort. The cohort, how is the cohort? Oh.
The cohort is more relaxed. We learned a few things from the piscine. Yeah. So now, yeah, the learning is a bit slow on our end. I mean, now we can take time to actually know the things that we're doing. And again, the study groups have not stopped because we realized we need it. If we need to sit down as a team and discuss something, I mean,
it's the whole pedagogy. You have to have a group.
Yeah. So we did that, and I don't know, I think we grew in different levels, different ways, different skills. People got to discover themselves and what they liked. Because if you want to use Go for a back end, someone wants to be a front end dev. Like, these are things some of us didn't even know, were not even aware of at that point. Yeah, so there was a lot of growth again. Getting to know your peers once more, because now we are a bigger group.
Different from different
piscines. Different piscines. Especially when you are assigned like a group project, or even have to find an auditor. That was a new thing, by the way, being audited for group work. And yeah, you were working with different people and you have to get used to it. It's not the same with the piscine, where we grew around each other and we were familiar with each other. So now it's a bigger team. And then, yeah, I think that's the most part. I know I'm
Guys, keep in mind, this is 2 years.
2 years.
It's you're in here for 2 years.
Yeah.
You're working with different people. You're doing different projects. It's tell me about the projects.
The projects, like in any situation when you're working with people, there's bound to be situations.
Yeah.
Or events. I mean, you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
So even in the different, I think that is why I really, really enjoyed this program, because even in situations where you could not get along with each other for one reason or the other, I mean, you had to figure it out. You're with this person in this room for the next, I don't know how many months, a year. So will you not be able to work with them just because you can't square out a few differences? It was an interesting thing to learn, because we grew socially, emotionally. I mean, you can't just have an outburst just because you're angry or whatever. Yeah, and then mentally, we had to undergo like a lot of mental shifts, because the approach here was very different. And then people coming from different backgrounds, and you have to adjust and accommodate each other, was a task for some of us. But all in all, we pushed. I mean, I think the first couple of months were difficult because of adjustments, but we got along well, pretty fine at the end. More hackathons, bigger and better than we had seen in the piscine, which was very nice. I remember for my first hackathon, I think we didn't agree as a team, and maybe didn't even finish it.
I remember. You had different views.
Very different views. That taught me a lot, by the way, in terms of how I could have handled things. And again, I think speaking about it also helped, because sometimes the challenges you'll go through and you're not aware that it's a challenge until you tell someone else. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now you're doing in the cohort now. You're doing different languages. You're not just doing Go. You're doing different languages. You're deciding what you want to do. So as we segue to what you're doing now, how did the cohort prepare you for what you're doing now? How did you end up deciding that this is what you wanted to do?
That was interesting. Again, me and things not clicking for me. So I always get to such points, and I think I'm learning to appreciate that more and more, because the times once you would learn that something isn't working for you, I've realized that for some people it becomes a moment of panic because you think you can no longer fit where you are. But it's actually good because it's a signal for growth. Because if you identify what the gap is, you get to grow differently. So for me, I discovered that in the different groups that we were working, because from there, I think all projects were group work. Most of the core modules were group work, a few individual ones here and there. So for me, I struggled with structure, because I realized we didn't really have a structure on what to do. Since people were learning at different paces, you'd get someone who's maybe a really fast learner, has gotten to understand something really, really well. Instead of collaborating together as a team, they would prefer to do the project by themselves and then just send in the code, and then you guys will just submit it. And that doesn't help the rest of the team with learning. So in terms of sharing work, that also became a challenge, because if one person writes the entire application, it leaves the rest of the team with basically nothing to do. So I really wanted structure. I wanted order. I wanted to see what we are building and how it's progressing, address any challenges we were facing, because mostly it was just that if one person does the whole thing, there's no room for the team to learn. And learning comes in very different angles. It could be there were so many risk factors in this project that we didn't account for. It could be the team needs to work better in this and this manner. Basically, the things that I work with today. So I decided to look at it from a different angle. Like if I step outside and look at my team, I know that we need structure. I know that we need order. I know that we could use a bit of guidance on a few things. Like if we work from the same template, same blueprint, everyone gains. So I started looking into project management, and again, didn't want to leave the tech side of things. So I wanted it in a tech environment. So I started looking into that. Went on LinkedIn to find a mentor. At the time I didn't even know what the difference between a project and a product manager was. And for her, she is still a project manager. So one of the first lessons was to understand that. And then I took a course, again shared by her, on project management. Coincidentally, I think around the same time, we had a chat with you, and I told you I don't think I want to focus so much on the coding. I wanted to get into leadership roles. And again, I think at the end of that month, I think I took the course in March, and then in April, an advertisement was put up for Bongo Hub.
For a project, for a paid project.
For a paid project, yes. So Bongo Hub was looking for front end, back end, and a project manager. Guess who took a course on PMing? Yeah, it was very good timing, and I think one of the reasons why I appreciated it so much was also because, to be honest, I didn't know whether that was made available because I told you about it, and I think it stuck to me that maybe you may have done something about it, and I just wasn't aware.
Yeah, imagine I didn't. I didn't. Yeah, I don't think I even shared with the team that you wanted to do project management.
Nice.
But you see, we needed to also have project managers, product managers in the team, because we were having so many. We ended up having so many coders and very few product and project managers. So we realized very early on that we actually needed to mentor more people to get into project management. Yes.
Yeah. So for me, that's why it started, and I joined the Bongo Hub as a project manager. I remember what's his name, the talent manager, Chris. I remember Chris mentioning it in the interview, that she's one of our strongest project managers.
Yes,
And I was
Josephine
wondering.
was our strongest project manager then. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is where it started. And I enjoyed it, like just giving the team structure, showing people what they're doing and the impact it is having. That ended up being the drive for so many people.
Yeah, and you did such a good job and mentored even more people to come into project management, product management. Even now in Cohort 2,
Yeah, I have
a few people that you're talking to. And they're like, oh yeah, I was talking to somebody yesterday. They're like, Flovia, and I was talking to her and she's like, yeah, Josephine. I talked to Josephine a lot about it. I said, oh, that's really cool. So then what you're saying, working in groups, when you're working in groups, collaborating in groups, you realize that there was no proper structure. And you know that is also sort of by design, because then you need to give yourself structures. We don't want a trainer to come in and tell you this is how you need to panga yourself. But then you noticed the gap and you took it on and started helping with providing structure within the teams that you were part of. This then led up to you taking up a career in project managers, and that's what you are doing right now. Tell us a bit about what you're doing. I mean, just what does a project or a product manager do? Are you a project manager or a product manager?
I think I wear so many hats. Nowadays, I can't put like a single title to what I do.
Okay, that's good. But
it started off as project management.
Project management, yeah.
So typically, what we think about, what we know as for project managers is that they control the how. That means how work gets distributed, how work is scheduled, and keeping that schedule. Yeah. So in a tech environment, sometimes that means you also get to code. You also get to do code reviews and participate in architecture decisions. Yeah. So for me, that is where it started. Basic planning, scheduling, tasking, and then it slowly went into with code reviews, and then it slowly went into architecture and design. And design thinking. So right now, I think I developed a very strong muscle for product management because I had to step away from actual coding. And our team is very small in a sense that if you find a bug, fix it. If there's no one else to do it, fix it. And I think that is what I love. That is what I love about it. That is what I also love about having a tech background. It allows me to do things like that. If I have to make a decision, if I have to basically, make a decision, that means I'm working from a point of information. There's a common thing with project managers, and people like to say that they overestimate or underestimate technical tasks just because they don't have context. For me, it's very different. If I know something could take a day, I know for sure it could take a day because I know I could do it in a day. So it's been that. And then
hang on, you know what you said? You said because you have a background, it's easy for you to estimate how much time a project would need. There's this conversation that started, I saw on Twitter, of people saying, oh, project manager, if you're a project manager, product manager, you don't need to know how to code, or you don't need to understand code. I've also seen some people saying, oh, they want to, like, coding is hard, so they would rather do product or project management. Could you kindly speak on that? Because I know you did a lot of coding before transitioning to.
For any tech environment, I would highly, highly recommend at least get acquainted with code first, like understand how the thing works, because that helps with a lot of the decisions that you're going to make in the long run. Because even when you get to product management, you're now thinking about the product and how to design that system and how to make sure things work, and you can't know that, you can't understand that level of depth if you don't have a coding background. And there's some things that you'll have to test and verify and do on your end by yourself. So either way, you'll still need to have some coding experience. I think it is very, very vital. If there are new tools, I don't think it's up to the devs to figure some of these things out, especially if it's like a organization-wide thing that needs to be implemented. It's your job as a product manager, for example, to go figure out how that tool works, find out if it is feasible for your team, and then use it. It can be integrated into your workflows, but you can't do this really well if you don't have a technical background. I feel like for roles, go ahead. You don't need the technical background. But for tech specifically, it works best when you have.
It also gives you a competitive edge.
Yeah, because sometimes we sit down in stand-ups, like I was telling you, we had a debugging session today. What conversations will you have with your team? Because remember, as a project product manager, you sit in between the two, the leadership and the dev team. So if you can't have conversations with your dev team, how do you communicate with stakeholders? How do you communicate the issues they're facing? You'd have to understand it at a very deeper level for you to be able to make decisions and communicate. Because sometimes I've noticed leadership could have somehow erroneous demands when it comes to products, and maybe things that are just not feasible. But if you don't understand it at the core, how do you explain that that thing is not feasible? Yeah.
Nice. You know, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm in awe, just because this is just within 2 years. 2 years, you speak very confidently, and you do such an amazing job in tech, product, project. You're doing great. And this still, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that this has just been 2 years of you putting in the work. What people don't see is that you are here every day, almost every day for the last 2 years, morning, evening.
Yeah.
More than 8 hours a day, you're in the zone.
And that is just here, being here physically.
Yeah.
I had nighttime and
Nighttime.
early morning
Yes.
study times.
Right?
Yeah, like I could wake up at 3 a.m. and I have to study with someone.
And so, and the results of this is that now you're very good at what you do. You have a job. You're working as a product manager. You have opportunities opening up for you. One of the things that we say is that we not only want to improve your skills, but also improve your income. Could you kindly talk to us about that? So skills improving, your confidence improving, income improving. Do you kindly share that a bit about that?
With Zone, or rather from Zone, what I gained was everything you just mentioned. The skill set, the confidence. I mean, to stand in a room and say what you say, or rather what you can do with confidence. And at the end of the day, that is what employers are looking for. Like, you can talk the talk, can you walk the walk? Because that's a whole different thing. To be able to sit, and I remember even for the project that I'm doing, it started here. It was a paid internship, and it was basically an assessment from my employer to see if Zone is actually producing the kind of people, the kind of talent it says it does. And I think the value proposition from that is what most employers are looking for. Can you do what you say you can do? Can you prove it? If I were to give you some random code, would you be able to know your way around, figure your way around, and make the fix that I'm asking for, or make a feature? So it's a very important space to be in. And again, the continuous loop of learning helps a lot. I've gotten approached by different people, and just because you are in tech and you're a lady in tech, how did you do it? And they think that just because you've pushed yourself extra hard, you have a lot to offer. And I think that is the space you want to be in. Get to know your stuff. Opportunities, I think, yes, you look for them, but some find you. And I think that is a very wonderful space, because imagine getting a job that you didn't have to apply for. Do you know how riveting it is to apply for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 jobs, and you get even 20 rejections, let alone the ghosts? Even just one rejection is enough to ruin your day, your week. Compare that to a job opportunity that you got because Dorcas went and put in a good word for you. And someone actually believed in you. Yeah, or someone saw you on LinkedIn and they were like, yeah, that's the kind of person I want to work with. So yeah, I think Zone has done a lot for me that I'm very grateful for. And I could not be where I am if I didn't come through Zone.
Thank you. And for the income bit, do you want to comment a bit about that?
Yeah. So for me, the paid internship that I got started at around 400 USD, and currently it's at 1,000 because that's what I'm getting paid for everything that I do, and that went higher mostly because of the different things that I do. So I've been able to take on so much responsibility to the point that my boss lets me handle most of the things. He'll just be like, if anything critical shows up, you let me know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you handle everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for being generous with the information. Yeah, but one thing that I think in the last episode when I was talking to Malika, one of the things that we were saying was that even the way the income mobility in tech
Yeah.
is, I don't know if there are other fields that do this, but it's unimaginable.
Yeah.
Like you move, your stipend was, I don't know, 15,000, moves 15, 13,000, and then it moves to
400.
you move to 400, and then you move to 1,000. Like in a span of 2 years, you're moving so fast and so
Yeah.
quick that you don't know what next year could hold. It could be times 50
Yeah.
next year, and it's so possible because you've seen your colleagues move that fast, and all they have to do is show their work, because you show this is the work that I've been doing for the last years or months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
When you were in the zone, when you were learning and doing all this, are there times that you felt, what was that? Did you have challenge? I'm sure you had challenges, but did you ever feel like you were about to give up, or did you, even if it's not giving up, would you kindly talk about some of the most challenging things that, or experiences that just made you rethink the whole idea of taking up programming or learning how to code?
I think being not to be a victim or
No.
to victimize myself, but
I mean, I asked you.
it was a different experience for me because I came in and we had a room. We were very few ladies in a room full of guys, and some gender whatever start coming into play at some point. So I remember the first hackathon I told you that I could not finish was mostly because of that. Differing opinions, and then someone feels like maybe you're lesser or their opinions matter more
That's
than yours.
always the worst in these spaces, to be honest.
Yeah. And at that time, I could not deal with it. And it also came from, like, I had stomached it for a while. This is someone who was sitting very close to me and someone I would constantly ask for help from. But then to demean me because you're helping, it is something I had stomached for a while. You know, you tell yourself, I'm working towards something, so let me just send you a, I've gone through worse, let me just send you a.
Yeah.
But then at some point, I just snapped. And sadly, it was during the hackathon. And we had a talk about it, and I decided this is not someone I can work with. So let it just stop, count my losses, my wins, and we keep it moving. The other challenge.
That was the lowest, one of the lowest points, eh?
Yeah. The other thing was, I think maybe just from my personal life, there are times that could really, really cloud what you're doing here. And it's things you can't control. But other than that, I don't think I had any major challenges.
Those were major, to be honest. They were major. And so let's go back to being in a space where you are, first of all, you're not used to being a minority. Suddenly you're a minority. You're a woman in tech.
Remember, I'm from working with my dad in the office. So it's different there.
It's different. And it's like you're fighting for your voice to be heard. Yeah. You're put in a position where you have to question your abilities. And this is not, unfortunately, it's not an isolated experience because most women in tech face it. I don't know if you have any advice for women who are experiencing that right now, or who will be in such spaces. What would you advise them?
Talk about it to someone else. I think just what you said, shared experience, a shared experience. Someone else could easily tell you what they've done then, or rather what they did to help themselves. So tell someone about it, and never ever stop. I mean, cry if you want. I usually tell myself I'm on a schedule. If I have to cry, I have like 2 hours. So that I
Get it
don't
out,
drag
yeah,
it. Yeah, so that I don't drag it,
yeah.
because the things that I'm chasing are far more important than this small thing that is trifling, that is trifling right now. So yeah, talk to someone about it. Keep pushing, because the only way you will create space for yourself is if you know what you're doing, if you know your stuff, if you gain the skills that it takes to be in that space. Most of the time, the this treatment comes from maybe the guys thinking that we don't do enough to be in these spaces. It comes from we've been favored. They made it easy for you guys to get in, because remember that was a talk when we joined the
Oh yeah, they
cohort.
feel like you've just
Yeah,
been
the ladies
added.
were
Oh, I didn't even
favored.
know that.
Yeah, that was the talk. Like,
But let me just, sorry for cutting you.
Sorry.
And Vinny, the women who are in the court, have you seen?
they said the bar was lowered for us.
Yeah.
Like, it was tougher for the guys to get in compared to the ladies.
women.
So that was the notion all around. And I remember even with the project I'm working on right now, I faced that kind of treatment, and I told myself I will not give this guy the attention that he thinks I should give this thing. And we just worked. Nowadays, it's crazy. He comes to me when he needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not the case when we
Yeah,
started.
that's so crazy, because I didn't imagine that they would think that the bar was lowered for the ladies that were in the program, because it wasn't. And all the ladies, the thing about being a woman in tech or women in these minority spaces is that you also have to work twice as hard, because you want to disapprove this narrative of the bar has been lowered for you. So when you're in there, you're working almost twice as hard
That's true.
to get it. And I saw it with the ladies in your cohort. And right now, some of the biggest earners for us are the ladies, because, and also most of you ladies came with no background in tech.
Yeah.
And of course that was used against you, eh?
Yeah. Because I mean, what opinions do you have, and you know nothing in tech? Yeah.
But kudos to you guys. You guys did it.
Yeah, we tried.
You did a good job. So that's your experience now. What's in store? Where do you see yourself? What plans as far as tech is concerned, and your career, or anything else you want to share?
Okay. For now, I think I really want to develop a strong backbone for the business side of tech. Again, I'm always I don't know, the trajectory for me is to go into leadership further and further. So right now my focus is to understand the business side of things, the business side of a product, and see how to push it. Of course, I'm learning about the system thinking, because I mean, there's only so far you can go with some of these concepts, and if you take too many of them, you spread yourself too thin. But then, to some extent, I could argue it's better than nothing. You could stand to say a few things about a certain topic, but depending on what is needed, go the depth that is also required. So the reason I was telling you I slowly shifted into product was because of the architecture and the design thinking that was required at some point for our application. And that turned into a conversation mostly between my boss and I, and that was because the rest of the team had other things to do. So it was a game of me figuring things out for them before they got to it, and then when they get to it, we work it out. If there are finer things that I didn't get to, we iron them out. But yeah, I think I'm going further into leadership. I want to explore that. I want to work on a different, so for this one it's edtech. I want to try fintech as well. Yeah, I think that's it for now. And I'm looking for opportunities to grow, because for me that's a big thing. And yeah, I think that's it for now. I don't have like my 5 years figured out yet.
That's good. That's good enough. That's good enough. So this is such, the conversation has been so good. My God. Let me take you back a bit, the journey before you got in. What would you tell yourself? Like,
my God.
knowing what you know now, and so Someone tells you, okay, yeah, we're going back, but you know, with the information you have now, how would you approach this differently? Would you approach it differently? And if yes, how? Or what would you tell yourself?
I think maybe if there's anything I would change is maybe to do a different course. Not that German has been all that bad, but I would want to. I think there's a difference when you, for people who have a CS major and people who don't. There's a bit of a difference, especially in the market. Though we're trying to close it in.
The learning curve, yeah?
Yeah. So maybe if I could go back, I would try and do computer science. Yeah, and try and get more accustomed to like tech. Like, I think if I had done it to the level of depth that I've done it right now,
You'd be far.
oh my god.
But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for somebody, so there are people saying, oh, there's AI is changing everything. Why would I consider a career in tech?
Oh, please consider it. Consider it. AI started replacing us in 2019.
There's been conversation about AI replacing
us every other time. The thing is, AI is coming for the task that AI can automate and automate really, really well. So we have to learn to develop the skills that AI cannot. AI will never replace the human side of us. Try as much as it may, it will never be able to do that. So you see, like currently the way coding is now being replaced by AI, that means you have to think at a higher level than AI, because how do you guide AI to provide a solution that is actually useful? Remember, AI without guidance can produce very messy stuff.
It's called GIGO.
Yeah,
garbage in, garbage out. Yeah.
So number one, even before we start complaining that AI can replace you, do you know how to use it to start with? Because that is a whole different skill set. Yeah.
Very good.
You have to know how to use
Before,
it.
yeah, before you even start thinking of replacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, for example, for our team, we try to use AI a lot. And it is recommended because, I mean, when you're saving up on time, we need the time to do other things. So if you don't know what AI should produce for you, how will you even know that it is right or wrong? So there's constantly that challenge, and you have to, it's not really outsmarting the AI, but you have to have a level of skill that is enough to guide AI to produce the best possible output. We've seen cases whereby someone has vibe coded an app and it has 1,001 security issues. A human being would hit maybe 10, you know, because we're all trying to be very careful, but AI does not.
Yeah.
If you just give it random commands and you let it run, you're setting yourself up for failure. So know how AI works, know how to use it to improve your output. Because what I've realized is AI is very good at magnifying what or who you are. And if you're a really, really good dev, AI will show that. Yeah. So how you use it, and that is why learning software development is very important. You learn your fundamentals, you learn how things work, then you will be able to connect the dots when AI does something and even fix that mistake.
You pick it up.
Yeah, and again, we don't trust AI blindly. You know, people assume like that is what happens just because AI is there, like your work is easier.
Yeah.
It is in some sort, in a way, but it's not that it completely replaces you. Because even when AI generates code, you will have to review it. You'll have to send it out to another person. You could use 2 AIs to review your code. One generated it, one reviewed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do like, for us, for me, I like to do that. Like I put them up against each other because the kind of intelligence they have, the kind of information they have, it's not something you can put in one person. Yeah. So critique this code and let me know what you think. Then I give that feedback to whoever generated it and tell it, so this is the feedback from this code, and then we make it better. But AI is not replacing us. Learn
Guys, you heard it here, man.
Please.
Learn how to code.
You have to.
You have to learn. Get the fundamentals.
Yeah. How will you know the difference between good and bad code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josephine. Before we close, we are coming to the end. There's somebody out there thinking of switching careers or just getting started in tech and maybe applying for Zone 01. But they're scared. 1, because it's a big jump, obviously. 2, they have no background in tech. Please speak to them. Encourage them.
If you need proof Let me mention Malika from the
Yeah.
previous episode.
Wait, you
Malika and
approved.
I
Yeah.
are proof that your background doesn't really matter. As long as you have the drive, as long as you are there, you're putting in the work, you're showing up every day. I don't think there's anything you cannot achieve. You just have to have that drive. Just push yourself. If this is what you want, make up your mind that that is what you want, and then go after it. Every other career switch is always, I don't know, I think we tend to get stuck, kind of like analysis paralysis,
Yeah.
because you're constantly worried about what you've not experienced yet. But then life is that, it's an adventure. Until you do it, you won't know. But then it doesn't mean again go blindly. You have to have like a checklist or something. Yeah. If that is what you want, push for it. There's an institution like Zone01 Kisumu. Come join it. Come join the program. It's running for a year now. Yeah, and then you by the time you are at 6 months, you have figured yourself out.
And the year runs so fast.
Yeah,
2 years?
it
For
went
you?
by so fast.
Yeah.
It went by so fast. I don't even think I think I had that conversation with Malika, and I was telling her, do you remember when we came in?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we came in and where we are right now? And I mean,
And so much
just like
happens in
yesterday.
2 years.
Yeah, a lot happened. People grew. We came in as people who didn't even know what they were going to do. Like, we just came blank. We wanted tech. We wanted to be in tech. But then people left, cybersecurity professionals. We have project managers. We have system engineers. We have mobile devs. We have several. Yeah, people took different parts. And I think that is the best thing for anyone. So if you want to do it, do it. Just
Thank you
go
very
ahead
much.
and do it.
If you want to do it, guys. We have applications. Our applications are still open. We have a women-only cohort. Please apply. It's not too late. You can shift careers. You can join us. Josephine had no background in tech. Right now, she's a tech product manager. And so we want more women in this space. We want more women, and we have more women out there that can do it. So thank you very much, Josephine. Thank you for that lovely conversation and joining us today. Guys, it's been good. It's been real. I am your host, Dorcas Owino. See you next time. Bye.